I'm here with Mike Ring. Good
My
buddy.
brother Jim, who doesn't want to be in it again.
Hey,
He's
Jim.
hiding around the corner. Hey, Jim.
Finally made it here with Ringbrothers to Monterey Car Week. We just wanted to show you their new car, Octavia.
Honored to be here. Finally, Patrick's been after us for at least, got to be 8 to 10 years, God knows how long already. They've been a great partner of ours forever. They've been building all our wheels to make us look good, and we feel like this is the best car we've done with the best wheel company, we feel, out there, and built the best wheel we've ever put on a car.
Thank you. That says a lot to us too. So we've seen you do a lot of cars, and this is truly it's the best car you've done. It's the craziest
for sure,
car.
It's the biggest thing we've ever undertaken, and we're really proud of it. I'm sorry for the people that think we cut one up and ruined it, but the car was never going to be restored. It wasn't one that was worth restoring. It was a car that was a great donor car, and even though it doesn't look a lot like what we started with, there are, we definitely need the donor car to build what we do, and this is what we came out of it. For us, it was looking at a car that we knew nothing about. We just knew the name Aston Martin, didn't know anything about DBS.
Is this the first Aston Martin for sure, right?
Oh, for sure. We've only done one other really British car or European car, was a Rolls Royce we did. But the owner came, I believe, to Jim and said, what do you guys want to build? And we said, we want to build a European muscle car. So he went home and literally Googled European muscle car, and this a 71 Aston Martin popped up. So for us, it was exciting, and he had it to the shop within weeks. It was really exciting. He dropped it off, and not knowing anything about him, you just kind of could look at it for the first time and say, what would you change, We've done Mustangs, Camaros, and felt like we did what we wanted to them, but
similar, front engine.
Similar in design, the way they were made, a lot of similarities.
Similar proportion.
Yeah. But it was nice for us not seeing something to say, man, they're real flat-sided for what Astons are today, and how, you kind of like the Beyonce back ends on cars, or is that, can you say that or not?
Well, you said it, so
but
they say Coke bottle is another way to say it.
Whatever, Coke bottle. I like Beyonce better.
Beyonce. I know.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we thought. The cars were pretty narrow, so widening them is always something we've liked to do, even with our cars, muscle cars or whatever. Moving wheelbases is something we always like to do. So if we did an overhead shot, there is some that you'll probably see. They're pretty well just flat-sided. We even brought out the front. I believe it was like 2 or 3 inches per side, but the car in the back is 82 inches wide, and that's super wide. That's not mirrors sticking out like a lot of new,
a
lot of supercars. They're measuring the mirrors, which is the widest part, but that's not the widest part of this car. It was so wide we had to change our trailer.
Right.
It was just too wide to fit in there. So. Yeah, but we still retained the dual fillers that they had, the big wraparound bumpers they had. We changed the taillights because at that time they were more of a bolt-on piece, kind of. Made our trim, machined all the trim, and it gets wider, and got rid of the back window, made a functional scoop out of for the brakes. Got rid
of goes to the rear brakes, or?
Yep, rear brakes. Got rid of the vent window because it always cleans it up.
Yep.
The big chore was making that work without putting a flag, what they call a flag in, where people mount new mirrors to, or because you can only go with this angle is where that glass has got to come into the door. So it's got to go forward. Well, we had to bump out the inner door to make sure we can have room, and then come up with regulators.
So it doesn't pivot, it goes straight down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we aren't that smart to make glass pivot and do all that. We needed something a little simpler. Yeah, and then the clamshell is something Gary always wanted to do, we always wanted to do, but never really felt we had a car that was appropriate for that. And since Aston has done it many times on their stuff, we thought, let's do it. So we
speaking
did.
of the clamshell, how much of this car is carbon?
The complete body is carbon, even the door structure, inner, outer, A and B side of the hood, meaning inner and outer. So there's 2 layers of carbon. So basically all the exterior shell is carbon. None of the chassis is
chassis
carbon
or tub or none of that?
Yeah, none of that. The car does have a full cage in it, though, that's all completely buried in it. You don't see any part of the cage. So it goes down the A pillars, B pillars, wraps around. Had to be removable so that we could get the taillight panel in after it was painted.
Oh.
Because if you'll notice, this spoiler floats over the taillight panel. So there's no way we could have painted it. So we wanted to retain the chrome, you know, and hence your wheels.
Yep.
How we were talking, Patrick, we got to do chrome hoops.
Yeah,
And
we're like, why do you have to do the chrome?
Yeah.
But when you put all the pieces together, the chrome, you know, makes that
there
much
is
more sense.
that much, you know, difference between polished aluminum, which look great. That's been on a lot of our other cars, but for this, we felt like it really needed to be chrome.
Yeah. Keeps it all cohesive.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's our car. We really tried to maintain what the car was, but add a little more modern flair, but still make it feel like Aston Martin did this car. Because who's not a fan of Aston Martin, right? I think everybody wanted one.
And, you know, when you think of Aston Martin, obviously you think of James Bond, little 007. Do you want to open the hood?
Yeah.
And just
that's why we named the color 00 Silver. And the green engine bay that you'll see is called Nuclear Olive, because
actually
shaken, not stirred.
I want to know where all the James Bond references are. Because I've heard of some of them, but I think there's probably more than I know about.
The leather color we called Supple Sextan. So that's the
name of the car.
The name of the car is Octavia from the movie Octopussy.
Okay.
The Aston Martini instead of Aston Martin, because it's not an Aston Martin motor, it's a Ford Coyote 5-liter supercharged. But we did take the emblems off the original motors. It said Aston Martin Lagonda. We cut off the Lagonda, cut off the end of after Lagonda, that welded it on, then welded a weld here, and then machined the eye into it. So it says Aston Martini. Just James
You guys
Bond
sent me
feel.
photos a while ago of this detail. And the only thing I noticed was the dipstick. I didn't even notice it said that until like the 2 days later.
Oh, really?
And then it all started just going. So the dipstick in itself is...
Yeah, the dipstick's pretty cool in itself.
Cool touch.
That's Jim's idea. He's like, oh, we got to make a martini dipstick. So we, just in the manual lathe, Mark made that. And then Ryan took a piece of TIG rod and put a BB through it and then bonded it in. So it's shaken, not stirred, baby, right here. So the engine bay, staying with the carbon, you know, it's all brace that Gary thought would be cool. All the airbox that seals onto the hood, the Aston Martin iconic hood scoop that these cars had.
We'll talk about the wheels later, but are there any guns on the car?
No guns. No guns in or
smoke screen?
on the car. Well, maybe I'm blowing some right now, but no. So
maybe when Jim does some donuts?
Yeah, when he does some donuts.
Yeah,
when we feel a little more, when we get it dialed in a little more. Yeah. But he said it drives like a go-kart.
I bet.
A wide go-kart.
Yeah. Very wide.
Gentex did our mirrors, which are really cool. Mirrors with our logos in it. The nuclear olive color that we call it. The green.
The
logo
light, yeah.
Yeah.
Are those like lane
remote.
sensors?
They do
they
not
just light
sense. They just, when you put the blinker on, they will come on.
Oh, okay.
Let you know you're
Very cool.
blinking, but no. And
Yeah,
then
the Gentech stuff was really cool with the mirrors and then
the rear view
visors.
mirror being a 180-degree rear view mirror live all the time for your, because there's not, visibility is not that hot,
Right.
you know, looking through the glass. So that's really, really nice. And then their visors that are like the first time in an automotive that came, as you know, from the aircraft industry that you probably seen 20 years ago.
Yeah, 787. We were. I wasn't doing it, but Boeing was doing it when I was there. Yeah, like 2005. They'd already been doing it, obviously, and there was a lot of testing and adjustment to how dark it was going to be or not be.
Right.
And it's cool that these basically go full
These
dark.
actually go full dark,
Yeah,
and
cool.
you can manually do it or do it automatically for you. We scanned his. He came in with his new Aston Martin. We took a door panel off and scanned his door handle so we could put his new Aston Martin door handle in this car because we just wanted to clean up the sides a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
And then for the wheels, there was a very specific thing you guys
the
wanted
wheels
to do
were
with this.
real specific. I really fell in love with a lot of the ideas from the original wheel. I felt like the original wheels kind of looked like a spider leg, the way they came up and around. And I'd never seen, doesn't mean they weren't out there, but I had never seen, it looked like brake ducts, what would you call it, on the edge of the wheel. Like,
yeah, like venting.
It was like cool. It was a solid wheel.
Yeah.
Being 15-inch, the only open part of the wheel was the venting part, which was kind of right next to the barrel or the hoop, and I thought that's really cool.
Yeah.
So when we talked, it was like, really want to retain a lot of that feel of that wheel.
Right.
And we were working through that with you guys, and originally the wheel was going to be more solid like that. And Gary, the designer, he's a lot smarter than I am, he says, I think the car is going to be heavy. And I didn't really put it together until I realized that these are 20s and 19s versus 15s, and when you make this size wheel that's solid, it really made the car look heavy and not Aston Martin feel.
Well, that's always the challenge with a wheel like that, is making it obviously structurally sound, but also pretty, and make it look correct in the diameter that you're trying to make it look. Because sometimes when you go up in diameter, it can look either too heavy or conversely too spindly because you've gone too big, right? So there was a lot of back and forth with you guys on that and dialing in that proportion.
There
and
was
also
a lot.
the up and down like you're talking about.
And what's unique for us about the wheel too is that it's a 997 center lock. So Porsche made some company for Porsche in Germany convert 996 to a 997 locking, so you could buy. So we machined all the uprights so that we could press in all the Porsche stuff to use true pin drive wheels on this car. You guys doing so much with Porsche, it was no big deal for you, but it just it gave us the look that we were really looking for.
Well, it cleans it up, and you can hide away. Well, there's no lugs, obviously,
it
but
just
you
makes
can clean
that
up that
wheel
center.
even more spider-like, with that being the head of the spider again.
And then I want to talk for a second about the finish. The finish is our standard finish, which is a satin charcoal. But sort of the funny part about that was we finished this wheel as a solid satin charcoal wheel, which is what our studio video and photos look like. And then after that, you guys were like, hey,
can you take that outer edge because it's flat? Because if you look at this wheel, there's nothing flat on it except that outer edge that we had you guys then go back. This whole wheel is surfaced. And if people understand what that means, it means that's just a little bitty ball end mill going pencil, back and forth. It's a lot easier to just make things square. So we realize how much work you put into this wheel. This is not this is a really extensive wheel.
But this ring is what you're talking about.
Right.
And as you're right though, when it was one color, it kind of went away. Like you didn't notice it as much, right? But as soon as we brushed this and made it a separate color and brighter, that whole shape just popped. And when you see this wheel in the sun, especially, well, you'll see on the front in particular,
right,
where you're getting the up angles, the light hitting it from the top, it's just going to pop even more. And so, and then the chrome also
the
is
chrome really
going to help that.
Really, and
so
we were pretty
really
adamant about, because I know it's not something you normally do, and it's hard to get chromers to, especially on these rears, because they're so deep, to do that wheel. So it's not an easy task. Yeah. But we really felt
I'm actually curious about seeing it rolling and what that does.
To the
it should be really interesting.
Light, yeah, it's really. I saw it. It's really.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
When they were tuning it, I got to see it, so it's really spectacular.
Yeah, rolling should be cool.
The wheels are. I mean, when you're building this car, it's fun. You know, you take so much, every little piece, and you're just. You know, you're just saying, oh man, how do I line this up to this and get that carbon?
Yeah. But
when you look at it at the end, there's really not a lot that impacts a vehicle more than wheels. I mean, because that either makes or breaks it.
It does.
You can have the nicest thing or you can have the worst thing, but a good set of wheels changes it. And you guys nailed what we were wanting. And I can't take credit for that edge. That was Gary Regal. He saw it immediately and goes, oh, can you ask them?
Well, because he was sketching this thing for a while.
Yeah, and we were back and forth.
And then, you know, later we got the drawing of it. And so when you have that theme of that surface, that's one of those things you want to highlight. So totally makes sense.
And being that it was not like any of the other surfaces.
Exactly.
Where that one was flat. That wasn't all. So, yeah, it's a very interesting wheel. I think the people that have seen it, they all compliment. They go to the wheel on this car, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, well, look at this. You know, we did this. I didn't do that. I can't take credit for that.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful, amazing car. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Always good working with you guys.
We will see you Friday at the Quail.
We'll see what the world thinks.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can make me a martini.
There you go. We'll do that.